happy November. It's finally starting to feel like fall consistently. Hopefully everybody had a nice Halloween holiday. If you celebrate that, and yeah, we back. We here. Today, what I want to talk about before we get there, let's do that house cleaning. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share. If you value this content, leave a comment, share it on your social media so that other people can receive this good game and we can continue to make this thing flow and grow. Alright? But today, what we're talking about is, I don't even really have a title for it. I'll probably just name it. But the concept that we're talking about is how we say we want things, but then when we have to get them, we're not prepared to make it. What does that mean? So the other day I was looking on Instagram and somebody posted a tweet from Wesley Snipes, and the tweet said, people pray for cake, but when the Almighty gives them the eggs, and then he started listing the ingredients to make a cake, it said they get frustrated and they walk out of the kitchen. So what I interpreted that as is, you say you want something, but then when you have to put it together and make it yourself, you get frustrated and leave. And I can personally say that I've been guilty of that numerous times. I'll say I want something, and then things start conspiring and things start happening to give me exactly what I said I wanted. But because I have to put it together myself, or it's not exactly the way that I thought it would be, I thought it would just be handed to me on a silver platter, I don't appreciate and realize the opportunity that's in front of me. And it's like, when I saw that, it hit perfectly because I was in the middle of a situation. Well, I'm currently in the middle of a situation right now as we speak, where I'm getting everything that I asked for. But because I have to do a little extra legwork in order to make it happen the way that I wanted to build it, you know what I'm saying? I have to build my own cake. And because I had to build my own cake, I was getting frustrated. I was getting a little nervous, a little anxious, you know what I'm saying? But what I'm starting to realize and learn and come to terms with is, everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. And, you may think that if you got that thing, you'd be ready for it. But what you don't understand is that the process that you go through to get the thing that you say you want prepares you for what you say you want. So, for example, if you go and you buy that cake from the store, you know what I'm saying, then you're dependent on the grocery store, or you're dependent on the baker, or you're dependent on whoever is making that cake, because you don't know how to make that cake yourself. But if you go through the process, if you have the ingredients and you take your time and you follow the instructions and you build your own cake, now you're self-sustainable. You know how to make your own cake, and now you have power. It's up to you to determine whether you want to continue to make your own cakes or if you want to buy a cake. But as long as you have the ingredients, you'll never be dependent on anybody else for a cake. You can get your own cake at any time if you decide to make it. Another example, when we were doing flips full time, straight up, or even before that, when I was wholesaling 100% of the time, I dealt with a lot of buyers, and I put quotation marks around buyers because a lot of these guys, even though they had liquid cash, they weren't really buying anything because they were scared to pull the trigger. They wanted this perfect house for $20,000 that didn't need a lot of work, that didn't need anything done to it. They just thought that they could buy this house, paint it, and then put it back in the market. And then a lot of them ended up falling out of business, or we stopped working with them directly because they were just looking for something that was damn near non-existent. The purpose of being a investor in real estate, or a flipper specifically in real estate, is to take a risk and buy a property that needs work. You put the work into the property, and then you flip it, or you put it back on the market for a higher value. If you're not doing that, then you're not really rehabbing. You can call it something else, and there's nothing wrong with that. But a rehabber's job is to go in and take something ugly and make it pretty. You know what I'm saying? Think about rehab. When somebody goes into rehab, they're broken, or they have an addiction, or they have a problem, or they have a disease, or they have a sickness, or they're learning how to redo something that they forgot to do. They're damaged, or they're broken, or they're not 100% themselves, correct? Yet when they leave rehab, they have the coping mechanisms and the skills that will enable them to function in society, to be complete. That's what rehab is. Same thing with the house. You have a house that is under distress. It needs a lot of work. It needs to be fixed back up. It needs to be taken care of. The house is under distress and duress, and it's a mess. So you invest in that house in order to make a profit and put it in your pocket. So when you're just playing the game safe and you're not taking the risk and you're not doing what you're supposed to do, like I said, that's not really flipping. I don't know what to call that. I'm pretty sure there's a name for it. Maybe it's wholesaling, or it's just something. But that's not the point of being a rehabber. If you want something turnkey, then go buy something on the market, pay full price, or pay above retail, and then what I'm saying. Excuse me. If you don't want to put no work into a house, pay retail or above retail, and then you just wait a whole gang of years to get your return on your investment. No, you know what I'm saying? And that's what we do mentally as people. When things get rough, or if we have a goal set, and the first little roadblock that pops up, all of a sudden we can't do our task anymore, even though that's our task. That's what we were supposed to do. If you set out to say you wanted to go from one town to the next town, and as soon as you get in the car, you get a flat tire, and that dissuades you from going to the town, when all you have to do is take off the tire and put on the spare, go do what you gotta do, and then come back. Or, buy a new tire and then continue on with your mission. Excuse me, y'all. And you choose not to, then, either the damage is worse than you thought it was, or you really didn't want to go on that trip. That's the thing. We got to learn how to be more resilient, and that's really the focus. Resiliency. You're gonna encounter roadblocks along the way. Anytime you're after something that isn't already laid out for you, you're gonna encounter resistance. You're gonna encounter pain. You're gonna encounter hardship. But that's to test you. I'm starting to see. And I'm saying I'm starting to see because I'm learning as I go. I don't want anybody to get the impression that I got it all figured out, or I got all the answers. I don't. I'm still learning, and I'm growing every day like you all. You know what I'm saying? So I just want y'all to understand, I'm right there with you. I'm in the trenches. I'm learning and I'm growing, and I'm taking it one day at a time. I'm not better than nobody. We're all getting it in together. What sets me apart is my mindset and the fact that I'm not going to give up. So, you got to develop that mindset as well. If you set a task and say that you're going to do something, you need to do it until it's literally impossible for it to be done. And then, or if you're, because you're going to lose money anytime you're doing something new that you're not used to, because you don't have the skills and you don't have the coping mechanisms and you don't have the tools to enable yourself in that process. So you're going to bump your head, you're going to fall down, you're going to fail. That's just a part of going after what you want. But you got to put it together. It's not going to come to you in a silver platter. It's never going to happen. Or if it does, it's going to come at a cost that you're going to have to pay something else for. So, you got to be ready to build it. When you get your ingredients to your cake, if you really want that cake, you're going to put those ingredients together and you're going to make that cake. If you set a goal for yourself and you decided that you're going to accomplish that goal, then you're going to encounter hardships. It's up to you to endure and persevere and make it happen. It's up to you. You control that. Like I said, you can have everything you want. It may not look exactly how you want it to, but it's up to you to take what you got and make what you want and make it the best possible version of that. Same thing with dating, and this is the last example I'm gonna give y'all. When you're dating, sometimes you have somebody that's a piece of work. They're not exactly what you want them to be, but they have their flaws and their imperfections, and you got to figure out, is this somebody that I can invest in? Is this somebody I can build in? Is this somebody I can grow with? And if so, then you gradually, compromise, and you figure out what you two can do together in order to make it work. Now, I'm not saying be with somebody that's just giving you a hard time, or they're not willing to compromise, or you find yourself changing who you are to be with somebody. No, not at all. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if you have somebody that checks off almost all of the boxes, but it's one or two little things that you're not satisfied with, then you have to determine if those one or two little things are something that you can look past and build upon, or if it's something that's just not worth it. And if that's the case, then you need to exit the situation before you encounter complications. So yeah, that's it, guys. Sometimes, you don't get everything that you want, or you get everything that you want, but it's not put together. It's like a doggone IKEA box. You got to take it out and you got to put it together. But once it's put together, it's yours. 9 times out of 10, you can't just buy something off the shelf because you're not going to be able to transport it home. So it comes in a box, and it's up to you to take apart that box, pull out the directions, pull out the instructions, follow them. Do what you need to do to build your piece of furniture. Alright? Even clothes, last one. Sometimes you gotta take your clothes to the tailor because they don't fit the way that you want them to. You gotta customize them and make them yours. If it's your dream, it's up to you to make it happen. Alright?